wank about games.
Hello and welcome to part 2 of New Gamewank. Richie, what are you laughing at?
You just look so pissed off.
It's because it's the fucking 4th time we've done
it. So sorry, Ryan, you were saying?
Aye, Million Dick, part 2.
2 million dick.
This is all fine, this is fine.
I know.
Right. Richie, what have you been playing? Million Dick part 2.
What's your game? What's your game? What's your game? What's your game?
Aye, Prince, aye, nice laddies, for Broughty Ferry. Aye, Broughty Ferry.
Million Dick does actually sound like the name of a good iOS
You
game.
fucking hell, a good scratch. That's what it is. That's psycho, man. He's a total psycho.
Just got a bit of an itch.
Oh, Richie, what have you been playing? Anything?
I have. So I've been playing a couple of iOS games in the last couple of weeks. I'll start with the first one. It's called... It's called...
What days did you play them on?
Why don't you start with the second one? No, I'm starting with this one. I downloaded the game on Monday just there, which I think...
Right, okay. Let's start well. That's the first day of the week. Right.
Fucking Craig David right here.
Right, so it's Monday. You've got up, presumably. Are you dressed?
Did your mum help you get dressed? Can't you tell? Okay, so I've been playing this game called Kiwanuka. I think that's how you pronounce it. Or What? I don't know how to pronounce it because it's like there's no...
He's going to bust the
I don't just... Okay. So I was browsing the App Store looking for something
On Monday,
looking for something to play, and I came across this game called Kiwanuka, and I downloaded it purely on the basis that it reminded me of Lemmings. So it's a sort of side, I wouldn't say side scrolling, it's a side view, a little tribe of tiny little people, and it's a puzzler. But it's a very, very, very kind of straightforward, simple little game. It's made by a little developer called CMA. Fuck's sake.
CMA, fuck's sake.
It's made by a developer called CMA Megacorp, and I think there's only about maybe 3 or 4 of them. I've just been on the website before I started recording. So yeah, you play this little kind of tribe of people.
Sorry, I just can't stop laughing now. I'm going to have to go over there.
Oh, sorry, Ian. So it's a puzzle game, and you play this sort of little tribe of people, and they're led by one guy who has a staff that sort of emits electricity. What?
I just can't stop laughing. It's just so funny. Just like, wasn't it before you said the game, you were like, still laughing at that. Alright, go on, do it.
He's going to shout the question.
Barry's about to stand in the corner. Do you want me to go in I can go into the cupboard and talk about it if you want.
It's like what I imagine like if Richie goes to Tokyo is like I imagine him like drifting in Japanese people's faces.
Standing on the tube and that.
Bowing to apologise and then farting.
Yeah, it's a sort of simplistic, basic art style, but very nicely, very polished, very lovely looking game. Sort of nice music and all that sort of stuff that you would expect.
Tells about the
and
gameplay,
every level is a single screen. So you've got a sort of spacey background. It's all night and it looks like sort of stars and space in the background. But so you've got these platforms that are made of different coloured rocks, and some of the rocks when you touch them they blow up the whole level. And essentially what you're doing is you're leading your tribe from one point of the level to the other, and at the other point of the level there's a little triangle, and when you reach the triangle, there's another member of your tribe in it.
I'm sorry, I didn't get You're a triangle and what?
No. Your goal is a little prism that has got one of your tribe in it.
Right.
And your tribe
So
is
humans.
They look like we humans, aye.
Are they like silhouettes or?
No, they're just like little cartoon people.
They're quite small though, eh?
They're absolutely tiny. Like imagine
Wee tiny.
the reason why it reminded me of lemmings because they're lemming sized in terms of how it looks on screen. And so the puzzling is kind of based on This is like I've got 2 games to talk about.
You're all right.
It's like he's a fish. It's just kind of flops into the.
So the leader of the tribe's got the staff and it emits a lightning bolt, and basically you're using that to create like bridges and ladders which are built out of the people in the tribe.
Does it work like
So
lemmings?
it's like everyone's holding on to each other's arms and legs, and they're creating like, and they stand up in a tower, and then you knock them to left or right, and they swing around the screen and they attach to other platforms, and then you travel along them.
Does it work like lemmings in the sense that they move automatically, or
They all move together. They're not all.
do you make them move though, or do they move?
You make them move.
automatically?
You make
So
them
are
move.
you purely controlling the leader though? And they
You're
follow?
purely controlling the leader. Yeah.
So there's not like
the
lemmings in
leader's
the way
like-
there's a time limit then?
No. But I mean, it's a very, very simple kind of level design.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, the first few you do are sort of really easy as you kind of get your head around the concept, and as it progresses, it gets more and more difficult. It's just nice when you every so often come across an iOS game that's got a bit of imagination about it, a bit of polish, and it feels like a game. It's not like, because I don't get on with handheld. Sorry, not handheld. I don't get on with mobile games that often, or iOS games. I don't actually use my iPad that much for gaming, but
There's a lot of them out there. I think it's really hard to find the good stuff.
yeah, and generally the ones that people are always banging on about are, not to sound contrarian, but usually like are just the ones that I'm not going to get on with.
Such
Like
as?
I don't get on with. I mean, obviously, when Angry Birds hit the scene, that was quite a big deal. And no, it was. I knew a lot of people.
Back in the 60s.
Angry Birds, Jump, Cut the Rope. What's Doodle Jump? All those. I never really got into any of them because they were just kind of
a bit too casual for you, maybe not gamey enough.
Aye, maybe.
I
Aye.
don't see. I don't like looking at them for too long. The mobile game market, because quite often you'll either find if it's free, it's probably there's not an awful lot of depth to it, and if there is a bit of depth to it, more often than not, you're going to find some microtransactions in it. I can't
right.
stand microtransactions.
The game was one. It was like I paid £1.50 for it, but it's that nice balance of like it's obviously not a sort of big, deep, ambitious game that you would sit and play for ages. The kind of game I want to play on my iPad is something that I would pick up before I go to sleep and have a fiddle bit with, and then play a couple of levels of and put it down.
Aye.
And that's exactly the kind of game it is, and it's got just sort of, it's nice. It's the kind of nice kind of game to put your headphones on and.
That's really what makes a good mobile game, I think, is something that's not too involving. Because I played the PSP port, Final Fantasy Tactics. They released it for iOS. I played that on my iPad, and that's obviously a pretty in-depth, involving game, and it's not ideal playing like a 50-hour game on an iPad. Like so, I found the real merit in mobile gaming to be from stuff like that, just stuff that has a nice gameplay ideas, looks good, and you can
I mean, the
play.
majority's
for a
probably
bit of time.
playing them on their commute.
Aye,
That's
or on the chunky.
You know, I actually played and finished Final Fantasy Tactics in about 20 hours.
Oh really?
really.
Because I never played any side missions. I just played this right through the story, which is quite difficult today. But I can't believe I remember this. But I think there's like I can't remember the class name, but there's like a time mage type character, and if you can get the spells that manipulate the enemy's recharge rate, if you can slow things down, well, you can get through the main story without doing any side quests.
But then you don't unlock Cloud.
I didn't even know you could unlock Cloud.
That's the draw for all the Bishy fans. Like, I always forget like how well hidden your RPG pedigree is. Like, you hide it well. Like,
I'm sick of them. That's why I never want to play one ever again.
Child of Light was the last straw. Like,
no, Ni no Kuni was the last straw, to be honest.
oh, really?
Because I know in myself that Ni no Kuni is a good game.
Did you no enjoy it for a specific reason?
It was just too long.
Because I keep getting put off with the hand holding, and I'm about 70 odd hours in, and it's still going.
It's still telling you things.
Oh, you should do that. I know, I've been doing it for 70 fucking hours.
No, that's not what put me off. It's
That's
just,
I'll play it for a few hours, and then I'll have to turn it off because I just launch my.
I want condensed games nowadays. I want 10-15 hours.
Right, aye.
If you want to tell my story, tell my story. If you want to give me good action, like Rising, with Metal Gear Rising.
Aye.
It can be done 10 or
Doesn't
15
draw
hours.
out
Just
too
give me
long.
that. I'm happy with that.
I do remember, I've not played Ni no Kuni, but I do remember watching my girlfriend play it, and the first box that came up was a text box, which was a tutorial on how to make the character move.
Fucking hell.
Instead of
I
just
don't even
like,
remember that.
Kiwanuka is it's worth the £1.50, and it is a nice wee game. I don't believe there's any microtransactions hidden in there. I can't see how there could be, but yeah, it's polished, lovely and fun. When I tried to look it up before to see if I could find out any more information, there's not a lot of people talking about it, so
It's such a saturated market.
I know,
really is.
it's a shame, and there's so much shite. Mind that. What's that fucking game you played last week? Barry downloaded an iOS game last week.
I downloaded a few iOS games. Skip a Stone HD, for example.
Oh god.
Is that an HD now?
Here we go, Skip a Stone HD. Ready for this?
Was that a mouse farting? What was?
Video
That
game.
was so quiet.
There's some birds.
You can't even throw stones at the swans.
Oh god, that looks terrible.
So you go, Skip a Stone HD. You should check that out.
Kiwanuka is better than Skip a Stone
I
HD.
play it on Oculus Rift. If they bring it out for Oculus Rift.
Skip a Stone, Oculus Rift. What else you been playing?
I also started playing. I saw a lot of people talking about this on Twitter, so it made me. It's been out for a while on iOS. Monument Valley. Initially, when I looked at screenshots of it, I thought it looked very like Fez, but I think it just takes a lot from the Fez art style. So again, it's a puzzler game, very kind of short, basic levels to start off with. It gets more difficult, but it kind of reminds me of the Toad levels out of Mario 3D World, where you can't jump and it's platforming, and you know, so you got to make it from point A to point B. Very straightforward, but very lovely looking game, and you can rotate and move platforms. But the twist is that some of it doesn't make sense in a sort of real world point of view. It's kind of a lot of it's based on that. Do you know, like an Escher painting where
Is it like that impossible square type stuff? Like,
Yes.
Because I thought that for the original like screenshot that I saw, it looks
Aye.
like that. You know, you couldn't possibly end up back at the top if you'd went there.
It's good because it's one of those games that when you try and think of the puzzle, it doesn't make sense, and it forces you to kind of think about where you're going with a different logic. And again, it's very nice, very atmospheric, good to play with the headphones. Very kind of just basic storyline, which isn't really even worth going into, but it's just, yeah, it's nice to dip into and play a level and put it down and go back to it later.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
How much
but it's
did
just-
you say? How much is this?
That one was £2.
Fuck that.
It looks really nice.
It is. It's a lovely little game. It's just come out on Android this week as well.
Well, again, for $2, I mean, how can you say no?
Both of the games have just got that style where it kind of makes it feel like a proper kind of like a proper game.
Good.
Is the see? I'm trying to remember if I've been looking at the right screenshots. Is it the art style? Is it kind of gradients? Like, is everything coloured?
There's a lot of solid colours.
It's all kind of like pastel colours.
Yeah,
I think it
yeah,
might have been the promo
It's
art
very
that I've seen
bright.
then, it's
Perhaps
kinda-
the back. I can't remember now that I think about it, but maybe the background, like the kind of sky in the background, might be gradient. But
Because it reminded me of, Out There. You played that?
no,
It's a iOS and Android game, and it's kind of like FTL without the fighting. You're just exploring,
Okay.
and it's all about like you can go and excavate a planet, but will you be able to have the resources to get back, and can you orbit this planet without getting your ship all kind of fucked? So it's quite cool, and you can cannibalise parts of your ship to make other bits work. Anyway, I'm not talking about the game, but it was the colour scheme of that. That's
Right,
what
okay.
reminded me of when I saw Monument Valley. That kind of like a nebula and space,
Ah,
the kind
yeah.
of purples and greens and that. That's what reminded me of.
I guess so. I mean, I like I said, it reminds me of, in terms of colour schemes, it's definitely very Fez.
Right.
It's not too Fez. I make it sound like it's just ripping off Fez, because it isn't. I think it just takes a bit of influence from it. But yeah, I mean, there's no urgency to it. It's just patient, nice platforming. It's good.
Why are you playing iOS games anyway? Is there a reason for that?
You just bought a Vita.
Yeah.
I bet, are you going to be using it like as a PS Plus machine?
Basically,
I know I've seen a lot of people doing that.
it's a good,
See,
it's
right now,
good enough reason to own one.
The
though, eh?
Vita to me feels as if it's perfect if you want obscure Japanese games. Like, not even RPGs, but like just odd Japanese, there's that one out there now, it's something of the Great Curry God. And it's kind of
Richie?
It's one of the ones, it's a bit like, you ever played Corpse Party?
Aye.
It's borderline just like a novel.
Oh, yeah.
Bits of interaction. There's
Wait.
hundreds of them on Vita.
Right,
And it's
okay.
all anime.
Vita lends itself to visual novels pretty well.
Like Virtue's Last Reward.
Right.
Like, that's perfect on Vita.
Definitely.
But even that, you've got a lot of puzzles going on there. But
Right, okay.
there's a lot of kind of visual novel ones going on. That seems to be the most prevalent thing. The Japanese are obviously just firing on it.
I think it's just because it's like, it's given me a few games a month that I probably quite enjoy
Well, you open
for
it,
now.
that's that.
So yeah,
It's a cracker.
been enjoying that. The reason I've been playing iOS games is because it's a nice way, if you're having a particularly busy week, then you can fit gaming somehow into your in
I
between
don't
all
know
the
the kind of
shit
same
that happens.
commitment is sitting into your console.
Aye,
and
I think
PC or
you
that.
pretty much always got your phone or a tablet or something with you, so it's less effort.
I've always got my 3DS next to my bed.
I know, I've got that as well. Yeah,
Go outside now.
No.
I will be.
3DS in his bucket.
I'll be buying. I do a lot of journeying on the train as well, so I'll probably be getting Kirby this week.
What else is there to do on the train other than Germany?
Sorry,
Jobby.
I do a lot of jobbing.
He does a lot of jobbing on the train.
eating. I don't do a lot of eating.
Richie.
Right, thanks for that, Richie. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Stay in touch. Guy, what have you been playing?
Thanks for asking, Ryan. I've been playing Yakuza.
夜の蝶怪しく惑わせて浴場も
All the Yakuza games.
Is that what you done before now, aye?
No, I'm still hammering through it. I'm on the fourth character because obviously you plays 4 different people in this one. But
He's a bit
just-
a history outline of Yakuza for folk that don't.
well, Yakuza, as the name suggests, you're a Yakuza, but you're a good one. You're a Yakuza with a heart of gold. In the first game, your best pal, who you've just brought into the clan, shoots your boss, and you take the blame, and you go to jail for 10 fucking years. And that's when you decide you want to be.
time?
It fucking feels like it.
Is there any mini games in prison?
I try not to get stabbed. No, so obviously you go to jail, and that's what kind of changes you, makes you reassess things. You don't want to be a Yakuza anymore, you want to be a good guy. But being a good guy still involves stepping on people's faces for calling you a dick in the street, and helping out Wayne's, at your orphanage that you want to open, because he wants to open an orphanage, because he was an orphan. So it's a kind of grey area when it comes to morality in the games, because you're met with this good guy and it's all about justice, and everybody in the city knows you because they know you as the good Yakuza. And you'll fight people, and you don't kill anybody, you knock them out, but you're sticking knives in people, or sometimes you're grabbing a sword off a guy and you're doing a finishing move where you slash through him 3 times and he drops and there's blood everywhere, but he's not dead. And because you've battered him, he gives you some money. That's the kind of game this is. Folk will square up to you, you kick fuck out them, and then they'll go, I'm awful sorry, there's 15,000 yen, or they'll give you like a Red Bull or something like that, energy drinks to help you out. So it's an old game. It is so strange because it mixes serious stuff with quite silly stuff.
What are Red Bulls for?
Energy.
Why do you need energy?
Because
that could kick and fuck it.
I'm saying Red Bull's just an energy drink, but in the game, the more drunk you are, the better you fight.
Oh right, you're a drunken. What is it called? I know what
Drunken Master. It's not even that. You still fight normally, but it's like if you're running at an enemy, you can do a drop kick, but if you're steaming, you can do a big Hurricane Rana. That you learn by videoing a drunk guy up a lamppost dancing. They have these things
Honestly,
in the game called Revelations.
The more things you tell me about this game, the less I feel I know.
There's things in the game called Revelations.
It's just a fighting game though. It's basically an open world.
Fight, run to here, bit of story. That's the thing I know. It's got a cracking story in the games, and there's some of the best characters that I've played in games for a long time. Dead memorable.
It's just dawning on me that I'm pretty sure that fucking Final Fight reboot game that I reviewed a million years ago might have been ripping off a Yakuza game a wee bit, because it was basically...
Do you know what? It is awful similar, that kind of idea, except this is good.
Right.
It's...
What's the world like? Is it kind of sandboxy, or would you say it's more sort of...
No, I mean it's just you're in the living city, and there'll be things that happen. What's nice is you'll like stumble upon side missions, and there's you don't get map markers and all that, so you've got to kind of learn the city.
Oh, cool.
But at any time you can look at the map, and it will tell you what each building is, so you can always check that. You know, if you're not sure where a certain restaurant or a bar is. But at any point do you have like go here to finish this. Or there's a side quest marker. Right. You'll have a waypoint for your main mission. So you know, avoid that because you want to do this other stuff. Yeah. And it rewards you for exploring, and you can do other wee things. You can go gambling, you can go to like underground fights, things like that. But
how big is it?
It's a good size. It's just
the GTA.
Oh no, it's not like that. I mean, it's
more like a Shenmue kind of size.
Just like maybe 2-3 times bigger than your kind of wandering area of Shenmue. And it's nice because it's the same city in all the games, so it'll improve a bit with each game. Obviously, as the hardware get better and the games went on, but there's just slight changes, so it's still familiar, but there's new things.
Must be pretty nice, like revisiting locations and like
it's great to see it go for like the first 2 games when they're on PS2 into the PS3, and everything's it's just a lot nicer looking and more shiny on that. And the characters in it they're just fantastic. And what's nice is at the start you get them all flung at you, very first game, and you don't know who half these people are, and you're trying to remember, is he the lieutenant of this branch of the clan, is he the head of it, and that can get off confusing. But it gives you a bit in the menu you can consult at any time, so it shows you how everybody's related to each other, and that's quite nice. So if you're not sure, you can always check up on it. And then when you go to the next game, it will give you a huge new batch. You'll maybe get 5 new characters.
Do you carry over saves?
I can't remember if I did with the first 2, but I remember for Yakuza 3, Yakuza 4, it was saying, look, we've detected one, so you can unlock this and that because you've finished it. But
do you level up? Does your character level up?
You level up. The more you fight, obviously you gain levels and that, so you can learn new moves, or see, that's the thing, the fighting's brilliant because it can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. So you can be somebody that just goes for full brute force and you just pulverise these guys into walls and that, or you can be more quick on your feet, like circling around them waiting for opportunities. That's quite nice. And as you level up, also you unlock new moves, new abilities, and you can go to people to teach you specific ones.
Is the equivalent of like boss fights?
You get boss fights, and what's brilliant is it doesn't do that thing where the guy at the top needs all his pals to fight you. The reason he's at the top is because he's a fucking cracking fighter, and a lot of the times you're making it through with maybe just a sliver of health, because that's why this guy's at the top. Nobody can beat him.
Is it fun?
Oh,
one thing I sort of...
I've never been bored with it, put it that way.
No, I mean, like when you get to a boss, I always have a bit of a love-hate relationship with bosses. Like, I hate when a boss is just a bigger version of the rest of the enemies.
No, it's not like that. They're always well justified.
Right.
Being a boss.
How varied are the enemies as well? Do you ever get bored of just fighting men all the time?
Well, you get your classic kind of normal enemy, kind of bigger. You know, it's like, oh, well, I know I can't chuck him with my shooter.
Right.
He's a big gun. That kind of thing.
Not quite Dynasty Warriors levels of...
No, it's ridiculous. But I mean, there's still some ridiculous acrobatics going on.
Right.
Like, if you're running at two people while steaming and you do a kick, you can run up them while kicking them in the chin, doing a backflip and bringing your foot down another guy's head, all while steaming, and you're wearing like pointy-toed shoes that you shouldn't be able to do this in. So it gets into the kind of ridiculous.
So you were fine up until you saw his shoes.
Pointy-toed shoes, it's difficult to do that kind of thing.
Open
just
toed
takes you
though,
right out the
just go
game.
for it,
Aye, sandals on, you're a fucking master.
One thing, like, I've always wanted to play the Yakuza games, but I've felt like... I know it's not right, but I felt like A, it's a pretty big undertaking, B, it's maybe not worth it since we're never going to get to play any of the... They're never going to localise any of the new ones.
Is 5 the conclusion of a story then?
No, there's still going to be 6. I think 6 is coming out on PS4, but 5 still hasn't been localised, and then there's the spin-offs, Ishin and Kenzan, and they've not been localised here either, and it really doesn't look like it's going to happen. And that's what, see, because I've been tweeting about it a lot recently, playing all the Yakuzas, and I've not shut up about them. That's what a lot of folk have been asking. You make it sound like a good game. Should I get involved if I know 4's probably going to be the last one?
How are the first two as well? Because there's, like, when a series spans generations, it can be a case of the previous gen ones are a bit shit.
It sounds kind of daft. The only huge difference really between the PS2 and the PS3 ones is graphics. All the mechanics work basically the exact same. The fighting's as intuitive in the first one as it is in the fourth one.
My question would be, is how does it keep it fresh for 4 games?
Just a really good story. You always want to know what's happening, and it's no story that, I mean, the characters are interesting enough that you're always, I find myself wondering what these ones are up to while I'm doing this.
Right.
So that's quite good. And it's just a lot. It's a lovely wee game, a lovely series of games, and I would definitely say get into them if you're interested, because I know I'm probably going to be heartbroken when I finish 4, and I know that I might have to resort to watching a Let's Play of somebody who can read Japanese out. Fuck, saying that.
I like that you're saying that they play similarly throughout the series.
Oh, I totally.
I always like the idea if something works, then don't fuck about.
They didn't
like
try.
The rest.
They improved on it a bit, and they made it a bit smoother, the fighting, but it still works. All the same principles, same buttons, do the same things. It's lovely to kind of see how it got better, obviously for the first one, but it still feels not the same, but it's familiar. It's no, you don't feel as if you've taken a huge leap, apart from graphically. But
it's like Fire Pro or something like wrestling games. Once the engine works, then you don't need to touch it.
So the first one's still a good entry point. Then you're not going to come into the first one.
Definitely, even if you don't feel or you're not able to maybe play PS2 games, in 3 and 4, if you're at a save point, you can choose Reminisce.
Right.
And there's cutscenes that kind of summarise the first 2 games for you.
So you could come in at 3 if you wanted.
You could jump in at 4 if you wanted, even because it summarises 3 as well for you.
Right.
But you'd definitely recommend going from 1.
Definitely, because I started at 4, I played a couple of hours, and then I thought, no, I'm enjoying this and I'd like to see how I got to this place, if you like. Because when you start in 4, he's already been running the orphanage for ages, and you should know all the Waynes and all the characters, and it didn't feel right. And jumping back to 1, there was like kind of wee reference at the end of 1 that I understood for the beginning of 4, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant, I'm glad I did that. But I definitely jump in if you're interested, and if you can start at number 1.
Tonally, it's a bit it's slightly tongue in cheek. if
Although
it's about
it is, and
a
then
psychopath running an orphanage.
it's off that's the thing. He's such a nice, likeable guy, even though you're jumping. Like last night, it was like, oh, I'm just about to go and help one of my pals' wee lassies because she's getting in some trouble, and a guy stops me like, hey, you bumped into me. Let's settle this.
I wish you were doing the dub.
It's hard to tell when you're slipping out of Yakuza and slipping into your own real life.
I know it's not that similar.
Come on, lads, I don't lie stone in your face, just calm it.
So the guy was giving me a bit of hassle, but he wasn't a Yakuza, it was just some drunk cunt in the street. And instead of just like giving him a wee punch, I jumped in his face, jumped in his chest, and then from his chest jumped into an elbow drop right on his throat. But he wasn't dead. So, and then he gave me money because I battered him. So you get wee funny bits like that. And in the first one, spoiler alert, maybe, no, is it 1 or 2? You fight fucking tigers at one, but you fight 2 tigers. So
Does he punch a
that's what you
tiger?
can kick fuck out a tiger.
Do they have any money on them?
I think they dropped energy drink.
You should have dropped like Frosties.
He died the other day, that guy. That's no funny about it.
Who?
Tony
Tony?
the Tiger, the voice the guy, died the other day.
Fuck's sake, man.
Yes, he didn't shit.
Sorry, guys.
So I took a very sombre tone there, ladies and gentlemen.
The voice that
If you're jumping in faces to
How
beat
did I miss
tigers,
that?
Wasn't very great, was it?
How did you miss that? Because it's
No.
Because it's not.
No.
I shouldn't even know that.
How did you find out?
Never, mate.
No, okay. That's your Tony the Tiger away.
This guy refreshing as Tony the Tiger dead.
No! I'll wait for the Memorial Frosties box.
So I play Yakuza, play all the Yakuza. Talk to me about it. I love it. I want to talk to you about it.
I'll maybe get 4, but I'm not doing all that carry on.
They go quite cheap and all, which is nice.
I got 4 for $5 at
Aye.
Blockbuster and it's closing down.
That's the thing. The only thing I've got to look forward to after this.
That's
is-
another one though. It's like I was saying that
Dental.
earlier, guy. It's like getting PlayStation 3 games. I'm reluctant to buy them because you don't know what's coming up on PlayStation Plus. So it'd be just like me.
Oh.
It's like a £5, I suppose. Isn't it?
Still,
I know.
you've
Still.
already paid for the Plus subscription.
I know.
3 games.
I'll just wait. I'll just wait for 10
Just for
years.
everything.
See if it comes up on
All 4
PlayStation
Yakuza
Plus.
games show up.
Giza topic.
Can you get born in the Oculus Rift, aye?
Giza topic. Is it anything like Dark Souls? Giza topic. A Jibby Savo Lego game. Giza topic.
There's too many buttons, there's just main meat.
Oh, Giza topic.
Maybe Thomas was alone because Thomas was an asshole.
Giza topic. Video games. They're for Japanese paedophiles.
He's a topic.
I didn't hear an internet, son. I just want to play the games.
Giza topic.
What can Field of View sliders tell us about ourselves?
So, we had feedback in the last episode, and in this episode we have Giza Topic, because we're trying to split it up a bit. And we've got a lot of suggestions from people. So Barry's co-host from One More Go, Nickel Hay, asks, can Microsoft recover this gen, or is it fucked beyond repair already?
Better be careful we don't get labelled fanboys here.
Depends on the games, really.
Yeah, I guess it depends
I
on the
don't
game.
think it really does.
They would need
depending on
to
the
pull
game. I
something
think it will
very
be-
special out to make me consider even getting the next iteration of the fucking
You know,
Xbox.
getting
It could
oh, the
happen
Halos?
though, that's the thing. It
Oh, the
could.
Halos?
They could have one exclusive that you'd just be like,
The only thing I want to play on it there is Dead Rising 3, but I don't want it enough.
what would it take for you to buy an Xbox One? Right?
Oh, Last Guardian. They brought out Last Guardian. I would get an Xbox One. No,
So
I think anybody who wants one will have one, or is planning to get one. But I think they'll struggle to.
I think for both consoles at the moment,
And I think it's only going to get
mostly-
worse as well because I hate to keep regurgitating the same stats and stuff, but the spec of the machine isn't going to help it as years keep ticking by. It's like 2015 until the Halo game comes out. It's like I've got a PC now that's more powerful than the Xbox One, so was it go up its sleeve?
But they took away Kinect. Yay.
Aye, the essential piece of kit.
Aye.
It couldn't-
Everything was
couldn't-
built around.
Aye, couldn't possibly function properly without it. And now they're talking about that giving the machine more power without it, like as if they'll be able to get more out it. So games will go up to what, 905p, whatever they're sitting at.
Oh yeah.
What is it, 900p?
900p Watch Dogs.
I don't fucking know. No, Watch Dogs is sitting at 700.
Oh yeah, it's the PS4 Watch
really
Dogs.
Really fucking odd number.
It's the
Just
game.
really strange numbers.
The games are that cheap, I might.
People complain about this, but like see the PS3 games that ran at like 720. I can't fucking tell a difference
Most
anyway.
PS3 games did though.
Between anything that did run at 1080 and anything that ran at 720.
I don't remember any PS3 game that was like maybe an indie one that ran at anything above 720.
Who gives a shit?
Just recently I heard that Rise, it was originally supposed to incorporate the functions of the Kinect more than it ended up doing. I don't think it does anything.
I think it was for shouting, was it no? Like you could shout
was
for your guys to form different,
right.
Like if there was like a barrage of arrows coming in, you could get them all to fire shields up.
Right.
Did they
dropped it.
I think so.
And it's like that's a launch title when they can't incorporate it, and it's like
don't forget they even made it so that if you fuck up a QTE, it still works. If it says press X and you press Y, you still do the move.
Like all they really accomplished with dropping the Kinect at this stage now is they pissed off the people that paid for the Kinect, because it's still a £350 console with no enough games.
Well, the biggest issue is that if they dropped it and it had made enough of a price difference to even worry the PS4, then yeah, I could see why it'd matter. But like we're saying, all it's done at this stage is basically just been like, well, we're admitting now that Kinect is a piece of shit and we never actually had any of the big it's just lies. More fucking lies for Microsoft. Their marketing makes me feel a wee bit sick, to be honest. The way that they managed to spin everything into a positive. Like you're saying, oh, that's the Xbox more powerful now because it doesn't have a camera plugged into it. Holy fuck.
They're still talking about TV integration as well, and it's madness. I don't know, they're such a weird company.
I've seen folk complaining about it and all though, like, oh, I couldn't get fucking Sky to work through my Xbox One because it's not been sorted out in Britain yet.
Just
use your fucking telly and your Skybox.
Who is buying this shit?
Who's
as
buying
well?
that to save them having to go from one machine to another?
It must be all Americans pretty much that are buying the Xbox One.
I mean, they keep,
out of nothing other than fucking brand loyalty.
The first defence that always seems to come from Microsoft when they're talking about the next gen race, why the PlayStation's annoyed is they're in less territories.
Right.
Do you not think it does cater to a particular type of audience? I know a few Xbox
I like
One
that. Well, I was about to say that I like that it's for that particular audience.
Yeah.
I think I've said this before because I can just forget about it now. I feel like I don't need the
It's not
Xbox
really
anymore.
going to creep into anything
I'll
new.
probably get a PlayStation in some Steam box or something. It'll pop up at some stage and I'll get that, and that'll be enough in the Wii U.
It actually it shouldn't, but it does bother me that the Xbox One is so shit because I'd love it to be good. Like I'd love a reason to buy an Xbox
Who doesn't
One.
want the ability to play more games?
Exactly, but they just seem to be making it seem like a less and less and less attractive prospect all the time.
No, I think basically what Ryan just said, I was kind of having a similar feeling of like it doesn't really sort of bother me in either direction, to be honest. It's like, well, I'd be very happy to have fewer consoles under my telly if those fewer consoles still covered the range of games that I wanted to play. I mean, it's not like less games are being made, it's just if one of them disappears out your life, then I think it would just be a pain in the arse if one really good game came out.
If it was something you really, really wanted.
It's going to happen,
which is probably
definitely
going to
happen. The only thing that
then you do that thing you used to do when you were younger and just borrow a mate's console for a week. You know?
Aye. The only thing I thought that looked remotely good was that Crimson Dragon, but it turned out to be shit anyway. I believe.
Remember that?
The one that's made by the Panzer Dragoon guy. Remember the E3 video had no audio? Because that was like a launch title basically, but I think it was just not too much.
I've heard nothing about that since.
Alright. So it's kind of a shame, but
I think it's awful easy to boot it. I mean, it's not as if I'm still hard about the PS4 and all because I've spent that fucking money.
Oh, you've got a PS4, right?
I've got like, what have I got? Ground Zeroes, the new Dynasty Warriors, and fucking Child of Light. I think the rest, like a couple of digital ones off PS Plus.
And you could have played all of them on a...
I could have been playing them on another, but I mean, I barely fucking touch it. So I've moaned about that. I've moaned about it a lot on Twitter, just looking at it and spitting at it and shit like that. But I'm having to look at it as an investment, so I don't feel mental spending that money when there's nothing.
we don't live
I mean,
in
I love Ground Zeroes. I fucking love it, and it looks amazing on PS4 and it plays amazing. But I'm sure I could have just fucking done it on PS3 and bother, and I wouldn't have missed it.
There are no perks for early adopters anymore.
No,
not
no.
fucking one. The absolute worst for it is Nintendo.
See
Like,
that ambassador program? I
aye.
can't get the fucking Minish cap just because I didn't buy.
That actually,
That annoys
as I
the
was
fuck out of me.
as I was about to rip into Nintendo, their ambassador program was pretty good.
Oh, it was good if you were one of those folk.
Aye, but if
I
you
knew I wanted to wait for the bigger one to come out.
The way that
you know what I mean?
the way that they do their hardware iterations though, and the way that they do like their special editions of consoles and that, it's like I bought a black Wii U at launch for fucking £1 million, and now I can get one of the Zelda ones for fucking 120 quid or something. It was going in John
They
Lewis.
just bring it to Mario Kart ones and all.
Aye, it's just there's no point buying something at launch anymore, never, because nothing seems to have a strong first year anymore. Eh?
I think I only maybe go to PS4 at a time because I had the money there and then, and I thought, just fucking go for
It
it.
was a
in case
horrible drop.
spend
I
this on
nearly
somebody
broke
else.
as well, and then I had to probably just have a sit down and look at myself. Like, really?
Do I really want this?
Can't even stream fucking media through it or anything. I'm still using my PS3 at night to watch things off my PC.
What was it you were saying about backwards compatibility with the PS4?
Initially, it looked as if it would be backwards compatible stuff. That's what the rumour was looking like, but it now looks like on some people's PSN on their PlayStation 4, PS3 games had popped up, and by mistake, and they were taken down again. But I think what it is the PlayStation Now, which is like the streaming service that they'll be bringing in. I don't know all the details, to be honest.
If that ends up being shit, then that's
We were talking,
pretty
me and Guy
bad
were talking
news.
about it
Like.
earlier. I think it could be popular, but the chances of them pricing it properly are probably slim.
Yeah.
We've said this on the podcast before, and I don't want to get into a conversation about complaining about backwards compatibility, but we're just really reaching a point where to play all the games that we still want to be playing, you're going to have 6 fucking consoles under your TV.
When my fucking PS3 died a couple of months ago, and it was a launch 60 gig, and that's what I played all my PS2 games on. Luckily, I still had a PS2 when that died,
Aye.
but it's just really annoying that I need to get the PS2 out, plug it all in, set it up, and it's not really get anywhere to sit where all my consoles sit.
Maybe just an assumption that folk aren't playing PS2 games anymore.
Which is
but
pretty shitty to
aye,
assume,
obviously,
because
folk definitely are.
I play my PS2 all the time.
Well, they were still selling PS2s pretty. Like, PS2 sales were pretty
Yeah, they
strong
only stopped
well into the
making
PS3.
at the end of last year. Was it?
It's a funny one because
especially for
Yeah,
a first
let's not
year,
talk
it's
about
just nah. I mean, so what even was the question?
some of the
Sorry about
Microsoft.
Microsoft.
So that brings us to the end of a monumental recording session and part 2 of episode 1 of New Gamewank.
Yes,
We will be returning. I don't know when this has gone out, but we'll be returning pretty soon with some E3 podcasts.
E3 next month, the big one.
Yeah, it's crept up on us once again. We're
Are
not
we
sure.
gone? I take it we're gone.
Oh, of course.
I'll be there.
Aye.
I'll be there. Aye.
Press pass.
You're paying for your own flights, like.
What?
Anyway,
So that Chucky Dregs money's got to pay for something.
aye, you got that Patreon going.
We can talk about this later.
So if you enjoyed it, you can check us out on Facebook by searching for Gamewank. We're the only people on there with that name. And you could go onto Twitter and speak to us. You can find Guy at Nightmare Mode Go. You can find Barry at No Stopping Epoch. And you can find Ryan at Rye McLeod.
What about you?
I am at
That's
Laszlo.
fine.
Ugh, I don't want any more followers anyway.
I suppose.
So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back.
Good.
So
We're done.
find us on the internet and give us a digital wave. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
What the fuck was that?